Breaking news.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Down goes Sheriff Clarke. Down goes Sheriff Clarke. Down goes Sheriff Clarke. Sad day for you. He has resigned. The Milwaukee County Clerk has confirmed that David Clarke has resigned as sheriff of Milwaukee County. This is the worst sheriff in America. I would argue even worse than Sheriff Arpaio. He was a disaster. He's a conservative who does not believe in the rule of law, who has done terrible things to the people of his own county. Had a chance that he might go to the federal government. Some people are still speculating about that, but I'll tell you my best guess as to why he is resigning, because right now they have not said. According to Milwaukee news station TMJ4, no word had been given as to reason Clarke decided to suddenly resign this afternoon. I don't need a reason, first of all, to okay, you'll see why in a second, why I'm celebrating. So they asked federal government, there were rumors that he is going to go to the Department of Homeland Security. Well, Carol Costello reporting, a Department of Homeland Security official tells CNN Sheriff Clarke is not going to DHS. Quote, he is, and in capital letters, not coming here, says the official. Excellent news. What is the more likely reason why Sheriff Clarke has resigned? It is because of the monstrous activities that happened under his watch. Terrell Thomas was the first American to die of thirst in as long as anyone can remember. He died in a prison run by Sheriff David Clarke. As HuffPost explained at the time, he was a mentally ill man who last year died of severe dehydration in a jail run by Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clarke. He was kept in his cell for 7 days straight after jail employees cut off his water supply. He was a pretrial detainee, as his family attorney says, in a mental health crisis. Instead of providing him with desperately needed treatment, the Milwaukee County Jail disciplined Terrell by locking him in an isolation cell, giving him inedible Nutriloaf to eat, and shutting off his drinking water supply for 7 days, causing him to suffer and die from profound dehydration. At a bare minimum, it is enormous negligence, kind of reckless regard for human life we have not seen in a long time, where you let someone in a prison run by Americans, inside America, die of thirst. Okay, you could say, well, maybe it was a one-time thing. No, there's an enormous record of abuse, but I'll give you another huge case on Sheriff Clarke. Newborn infant died in the Milwaukee County Jail this past summer after a corrections officer allegedly laughed off a pregnant inmate's pleas for help as she was giving birth. Now, these guys who claim to be pro-life let that poor baby die after it was born because they gave no assistance, because they treated those inmates like they weren't human. And that's why there was a number of deaths there, let alone all the other horrific things that happened under Sheriff Clarke's watch. The fact that he has resigned is great news for the people of Milwaukee, great news for the people of America. Couldn't be happier about it. And of course, there's also suggestion that he was going to get absolutely clobbered in the next election. He was going to lose anyway, so better to resign in disgrace than to get thrown out of office by his own constituents. Now he'll probably go around pretending he was popular when in reality he was disgraceful and very likely to lose that election. So Sheriff Clarke, it's an absolute pleasure to report that you no longer work for any government associated with the United States of America. By the way, charges should be pursued against Sheriff Clarke for what he did in those prisons. Look forward to that news story later. An update of an update, Sheriff David Clarke is now expected, according to latest reports, to join President Trump's administration. I was hoping he'd go to prison, and that's why he had stepped down as sheriff in Milwaukee. But now we don't know this for sure, because that story is developing right now as we speak. Remember, Department of Homeland Security had rejected him back in June, and then he came out and was like, oh, I didn't want the job anyway. He had gone on TV and said, oh, I'm gonna get the job, I'm gonna get the job. And then when they said, no, you're not, he's like, I didn't want it. So apparently there's a new development on it. I hope that this story, the latest report, is not true by Politico, and that in fact he's under investigation. That's my hope. But right now, Politico reporting that he might join the administration in a different role, which would make sense because Donald Trump loves hateful sheriffs. So between Sheriff Joe Arpaio and Sheriff David Clarke, probably the two worst sheriffs we've ever had. And Hence, welcome in the Trump administration. If you like the Young Turks, you'll love Young Turks membership. tytnetwork.com/join.